ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधिता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथिता पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवती अष्टादशाध्यायिनी अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। सत्वं रजस्तम इति गुणाः प्रकृति संभवाः निबध्नन्ति महाबाहो देहे देहिनम् अव्ययम्. This way Bhagavan has described what are the three gunas, what they do, how the wise person should be careful about them, what are the effects, what are the results, and the person who transcends, what are his lakshanas, how does one do it. So Bhagavan has described in detail in the 14th chapter. And when Bhagavan described about how one transcends, then he had made this statement: Mamcha yo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatitya etan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. And then he had spoken about how that verse means the one who worships is devoted to the Lord, sevate. In what way is he devoted? Bhakti yogena, the path of devotion. And how is that bhakti to be? Avyabhichara. Avyabhichara means the devotion to the Lord does not change to become devotion to something else. It is a constant, effulgent, deep and full devotion. Mamcha yo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate. Such a person, saha gunan etan samatitya. He crosses the three gunas. Brahma bhuyaya kalpate. And he becomes qualified to be of the nature of Brahman. And then Bhagavan also provided the reason. He said, Brahmano hi pratishtaham. I am that very abode, pratishtha, that in which something is established is pratishtha. I am the very abode of Brahman. I am the very abode of immortality. I am the very abode of the imperishable. I am the very abode of that which is eternal. I am the very abode of supreme bliss. Sukhasya aikantikasya. That sukha which is ekanta. Sukha which is complete. And what? I am also the abode of dharma. Here dharma we took to be the jnana dharma. In other words, Bhagavan had said that he is the abode of the Supreme. He is the abode of all that we seek. We seek that sukha, we seek that Ashvattha, we seek that nitya, we seek that deathless, we seek all completeness. That's what we seek. So Bhagavan says he is the abode of that. He is the abode of Brahman. He is the abode of fulfillment. And he says he is also the abode of jnana, the means for reaching the Brahman and thereby gaining the fulfillment. So the sadhana, which is dharma, is jnana. Then that by jnana what is known? Brahman is known. And by Brahman what is reached? Fulfillment is reached. Moksha is reached. So the sadhana, the sadhya and the purushartha. Purushartha, fulfillment. Atyantika dukkha nivritti paramananda prapti. So the sadhana, dharma, the sadhya, the Brahman, and the parama purushartha of moksha. Bhagavan has said that he is the abode of all. And thus, one who is devoted to me gains all this. So this is how he had concluded the 14th chapter. Now, well, in many places Bhagavan has said who he is, and we have referred to it often also. But the entire purpose of the Adhyatma Shastra is to reveal that nature of the Supreme, reveal the nature of the Lord. And therefore, from that, Bhagavan builds the topic of the 15th chapter. Kidrisham Brahma. Brahmano hi pratishtaham. So, Kidrisham Brahma. So, when it is said that Bhakti Yogena, Avyabhicharena, finally it amounts to that Brahmanusandhana, that constant reflection, abidance in that Brahman. That is what finally Mamchayo Avyabhicharena Bhakti Yogena Sevate amounts to. Suppose you have to, this whole line, the one who is devoted to me completely with the yoga of devotion. Suppose you want to put that whole in one word, what would you say? You would say Brahmanusandhana. The constant anusandhana of Brahman. Anusandhana is what? Reflection. Anusandhana is meditation. Anusandhana is abidance. So, that Brahmanusandhana, but what is that Brahman? Kidrisham Brahma. How that Anusandhana is to be done? Katam tad Anusandhanam. Now, what is that Brahman? Bhagavan will explain here that Brahman is that which is beyond the Kshara and the Akshara. So in the 15th chapter you have Kshara Purusha, Akshara Purusha. And what is that Brahman? That Brahman will be termed as Uttama Purusha, transcending the Kshara as well as the Akshara. This Kshara and Akshara will be seen to be Maya and Maya Karya. When it comes to that portion we can see. And who is that Brahman? Brahman is that which transcends the Sattva, Rajas, Tamas Karya. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, it transcends both. Meaning, it transcends both means what? Sattva, Rajas, Tamas and Sattva, Rajas, Tamas Karya. That is Maya and Maya Karya. So, we will be seeing that here. So, that is how Bhagavan described what is Brahman. So, what is Brahman? How that Anusandhana of this Brahman has to be done, and how the great and the glorious, they are connected and they move towards this. This is where they have their inclination. What is the fruit of this kind of gaining this Brahman? In order to explain all these things, the 15th chapter is begun. To facilitate the movement towards the higher, what has to be facilitated is detachment to the lower has to be facilitated. To cause attachment, you have to enable detachment. Like how, suppose you want to take your leg up. Suppose you are climbing a ladder. Then what you do? You put your leg up and take the leg from the below, you take it off. So this attachment to the higher is always accompanied with detachment from the lower. Higher is Brahman, lower is the Samsara. This Maya and Maya Karya. Now, in order to enable this detachment, first what is to be created? A sort of distaste has to be created. So this distaste we call as jugupsa. That is the word for that. Jugupsa. Distaste. And when the distaste happens, then what? And Vairagya can happen. And with Vairagya, what can happen? The renunciation can also happen. And with these three what? This distaste, what you would say Viveka, then from that Vairagya, and then from that giving up of what is not. Now these are all what? These are all Jnana Sadhana. So all the Jnana Sadhanas, if you see, they are all only one. And what is that? Detachment. That's all. And what is Jnana? Jnana is attachment towards the higher. So to create that Jnana, you have to create the Jnana Sadhana. So what is this Jnana Sadhana? That is detachment. You may say Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhi, Shatka, Sampatti, Mukshutva, put them all in one word. Detachment. That's all. So detachment, attachment. When Gurudev was asked to summarize the entire philosophy of Vedanta, he said in 2 words. Detachment, attachment. So, to create that detachment, first, remember the goal is where? Brahman. The goal is Brahmanusandhana. To enable that, what is being done? That detachment is facilitated. And how is the detachment facilitated? The detachment is facilitated by showing how the entire samsara is a vriksha. Now, how detachment comes from this and all, we shall see as the verses go on. Okay. So, in order to provide the jnana sadhana, samsara is described as a vriksha. What is vriksha? Vriksha is tree. What is the famous Upanishadic tree? Ashvattha. Okay. So now let us see.
Sri Paramatmane Namaha. Adha Panchadashodhyayaha. Purushottama Yogaha. श्रीभगवानुवाच ऊर्ध्वमूलमधः शाखम् अश्वत्थं प्राहुरव्ययम् छन्दांसि यस्य पर्णानि यस्तं वेद स वेदवित् श्रीभगवानुवाच ऊर्ध्वमूलमधः शाखम् अश्वत्थं प्राहुरव्ययम् छन्दांसि यस्य वर्णानि यस्तं वेद स वेदवित्
ऊर्ध्वमूलम अधशाखम ashvatham. So you have this ashvatham. Urdhvamulo vakshakaha yeshoshvattas sanatanaha tadeva shukram tad brahma tadeva amrutam uchyate tasmin loka ashrita sarve tadunatyeti kaschana etat vaitat. Remember? Kathopanishad. Has come even in Mundaka also you have a reference to it. Many places in the Vedas also you have a reference to it. Urdhvamulam avakshakam vriksham yo veda samprati. It's a Vedic statement. So this is a well-known metaphor of the whole samsara being described as a Ashvattha. So how is this Ashvattha? Ashvattha? People tree. So how is this Ashvattha? Urdhvamulam adashakam. Urdhvam. Urdhvam means high. Urdhvam means up. Urdhvam means above. Urdhvam means great. Urdhvam means supreme. Urdhvam. Why? Parama mahatvena. So it is of great glory. The roots of the samsara vriksha, the cause of the samsara vriksha, the origin of the samsara vriksha, moola. How is this moola, that origin, that cause? That is supremely great. That is sakashta saparagatihi. That is the highest. Why it is the highest? It is ati sukshma, extremely subtle. Then it is of the nature of consciousness, meaning it is not jada, it is not inert, it is consciousness. It is what? It is the final substratum. It is a sarva adhisthana. Then what else? What else makes it great? It is sarva vyapaka, all pervasive. Then what else? It is sarva karana. This highest, this Brahman, that itself is what? Is the moola of this samsara vriksha. It's a moola, it is a cause, it is a source. And because the source is of this nature, the source is called as urdhva. It is very high. Sarvottamatvat Brahma Moolam Jagataha Moolam. How is it Sarvottamatvat? How is it? It is Urdhvam. Description Urdhva for this source of this whole samsara vriksha is because of this greatness. Urdhva Moolam. All right. So this samsara vriksha has got its source, which is very high, of a great higher order. Now when you're talking of samsara vriksha and then you call it as mula, now with respect to the samsara, you're talking the cause. So what are you talking about as the cause? You're talking of that maya associated Brahman. You're talking of Ishvara. Right? So, Urdhva Mula, next you come. What is said here? Adhashakam. Shakam. So, Shaka is branches. Just as how the root extends and becomes all the stem, the branch and all, is it not? It's the root only which becomes like that. The root is not seen. But what you see what is visible. You see the visible tree. You see the shoot, the root and the shoot. You see the other ones. You don't see the mula. And when you say adashakam, what do you mean? Yes, that Brahman plus Maya becomes what? The mula. Avyaktat mahat. Mahatah ahankara. Correct? Then from ahankara, you know whatever. Sattva, then rajas, tamas. So panchatanmatra. And from that, panchamahabhuta. All of them, they're all what? They're all the shaka. They're all the branch. They're all the shoots of the shaka. And why it is called adaha? It is called adaha. So when you say adashakam, what are you referring to? Starting from mahat, everything. So when we say starting from mahat, everything, we use the word mahadadhyaha. Mahat and the rest. So that Brahman, with that Maya has a upadhi, that is a mula. And from avyakta, whatever comes, Mahat and the rest, all of them are what? All of them are the tree that you can see. That is what is referred to as Adashakam. So now if you want to say, now so many things are there, right? So now let us say, so from this, so to say that entire, that whole thing which begins, so from that the first thing, the ankura, what comes? Like how a seed, the seed first comes out as a ankura, we say ankura. The first sprout, it comes. Mahat is the ankura. And slowly that goes into what? That goes into that stem. Right? So ahankaraha, skandaha, that is the stem. Then, pancha tanmatrani shakaha. So the branches from the root, and then what is there? Then you have the stem, and then you have the branches. Pancha tanmatrani, they're all the shaka, branches. And then you have the side branches, subsidiary branches. And what are they? Pancha mahabhutani. They're all what? They're all the upashaka. And these are all what? These are all called adaha. Why they are called adaha? When compared to that supreme, which is of what nature? These are all what? These are all what? These are all their karyas, the effects. So effects will be what? Effects are all lower in nature. Cause is higher in nature, effects are lower in nature. Therefore, the entire samsara vriksha that we see, the perceivable is what? The perceivable is lower in nature. Urdhva moolam adhashakam. What is this? Ashvatham. Ashvatham. Now this tree is called as Ashvattha. Ashvattha is a very long-lasting tree. It lives for generations, it remains. And therefore, because it is long-lasting, and samsara also is long-lasting, is it not? It goes on and on, generations upon generations, samsara cease. And therefore, the entire samsara is said to be that Ashvattha vriksha. Now, it is long-lasting, but look at that word Ashvattha. The word Ashvattha means what? Is there, Shvaha is there, and Tha is there. Meaning what? Shvaha na tishtati iti Ashvattha. So why is this Ashvattha vriksha chosen? The Ashvattha vriksha is chosen in order to elucidate that which stands long, but yet which is perishable. By etymology, it says it is perishable. And by experience, it says it is forever. Meaning, what you experience is one, what is its truth is another thing. You see, it has this contradiction. It's experienced to be long-lasting, but the fact is what? The fact is, it is perishable. It is as perishable as to say, tomorrow it will not be there. Tomorrow is not distant. Tomorrow is tomorrow. Today, tomorrow. Meaning, it is perishable the day you think you want to put an end. It's not far away for you, the student of Vedanta, that this Ashvattha, the samsara, will come to an end. The predictability of its destruction to a student of Vedanta is mentioned by saying it is a Ashvattha. When you think of Ashvattha, that large tree which is there for ever, generations to generations. That's what comes to your mind. But you look at the tree, Shvaha na tishtati. You want to put one end, you can put one end tomorrow. If you want it today. It is like that. Tomorrow is not far away. You want to put one end, Eme Vaishavranute tena labhya. It is as fast as that. Ashvattha. Urdhva moolam adhashakam ashvatham. Now, when it is said here, Urdhva moolam adhashakam, people can take it literally also. Urdhva is above, Adha is down. So you find depictions of this also. Funny tree is painted with the root above and branches all below. Have you seen that? It's there in your book anywhere? Yeah, it will be there. So that is also it is painted. Ashvattam. Prahuhu avyayam. It is Ashvattha. Ashvattha means what? It's not going to be there tomorrow. It is Anitya. There's another nice word we use in Sanskrit. It's called Kshanabhangura. Kshanabhangura. Kshanabhangura means what? Moment to moment. It is destroyed. So Kshanabhangura. anitya, but then about this samsara, how are those people who have no understanding of its truth, who are carried away by the yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadantya vipaschita. Remember? Second chapter. What about those people who are carried away by the Vedic statements of what? Dhruva dyauhu, dhruva prativi. Dhruva, permanent, is what dyauhu, the Svargaloka is permanent. Dakshinavantaha amrutatvam bhajante. You have not heard of this line. Those who go through the Dakshina path, those who go through the southern path. Which southern path they are talking of? The 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, you have that two paths, Krishna and Shukla. Those who go through the Shukla, Krishna path, amrutatvam bhajanti, they gain immortality, meaning they go to Swarga, immortality. Of course, we know our lines, we know. Right? Swarge loke na bhayam kinchalasti. We know that line. Then also, in Mundaka also we have studied some of these lines, right? What is that? Priyam vacham abhivadantyorchayantyah yeshava punyo sukrutaha brahmalokaha. Come. Yehi, and all those things. Right? So those who are carried away by these, what do they say? It is Ashvattha. It is not going to be there tomorrow, but how do they call? Avyayam prahuhu. Avyayam prahuhu. Avyayam means eternal. They speak of this as eternal. How is it that they speak of this as eternal? Because chandamsi yasya parnani. Chandamsi. What is chandamsi? Chandamsi is the Veda. Chandamsi refers to that Vedic mantras. Chandamsi refers to those Vedic mantras which are of the nature of promoting and glorifying karma and upasana and their phalas. Okay? So, Chandamsi. Why are they called Chandamsi? Because Chadayanti iti Chandamsi. Chadayanti means what? That which cover, that which veil, that which gives a rich look. Like how Chandamsi yasya parnani. Parnani is leaves. Like how leaves give a rich look to the tree and cover all its defects. How it makes the tree looks very, very green and very inviting, is it not? The green leaves which cover the tree. They feel the tree feels very, very nice, inviting, and so nice to look at it, green. Like that, these Vedic statements, whatever we saw now also, they make it look as though samsara is very, very enjoyable and very worthwhile. And you know, it's worth giving one's energy, attention for all those things. So, Chandamsi yasya parandan. In other words, those Vedic statements which deal with the Apara Vidya. Now, when we say Vedic statements, what we mean is that those fields of knowledge which promote, so to say, the worldly experience and the worldly fulfillment, and the worldly enjoyments, the worldly pleasures, those words of advertisements, promotion and marketing, which are all there, inviting. How do they make the samsara look? They make samsara look very, very inviting and very beautiful. Like how what? Like how those very firm, those very scratchy branches. The branches are all very, very rough, But how do the leaves make the tree look? The leaves make the tree look very, very beautiful and very, very pleasant. In the same way, all fields of knowledge, Rig, Yajus, Sama, Atharva, Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakarana, Nirukta, Chandaha, Jyotisha, all of them. If these words are not much clear, you can add physics, chemistry, botany, zoology, economics, management, all of them. They look what? They make it look that the entire samsara is very enjoyable. Chandamsi yasya parnani. They are the leaves. They have two purposes they serve, these parnas, these leaves. One is that they cover the facts. Another is that, what do? The leaves make the tree grow. They nourish also. So, chadayanti, vardhayanti. Chadayanti is to cover. Guhayanti, it covers. All the defects of the tree is covered by the branches. That is one, chadayanti. Next is what? Next is vardhayanti. They make it grow. Now can you just look at the verse and see whether you understand everything? Urdhva moolam. Clear? Urdhva moolam. Higher in nature are the roots. Moolam means cause, root. Adhashakam. Lower in nature are the, other than the root, everything, the shoot. The what is being seen, lower in nature. And what is this? This is Ashvattha. What is Ashvattham? That which is perishable, which is temporary, transient, ephemeral. That is Ashvattha. And this one, they are all calling. Who they are all calling? Avidyayam antare vartamana swayam dhira panditam manyamana dandram yamana paryanti moodha. Very intelligent people. Those who are the people who go behind prayers. What are they calling? They are calling prahuhu, avyayam. Wow. Where you can get the best. They call this avyayam. Where you can get the imperishable, where you can get the permanent, where you can have great happiness and fulfillment. Like that they are calling prahu avyayam. Why it is happening like that? Because this tree, the samsara vriksha, is covered with a rich foliage. Chandamsi yasya parnani. The entire Apara Vidya, which is looking attractive, because that is the publicity department. They are doing good marketing, those people. Chandamsi yasya parnani. Looks very, very inviting tree. It wails and then it makes the samsara vriksha also grow further and further. Yasam Veda Savedavid. One who knows this tree knows the whole Veda. One verse over. You want to study the whole Veda? Read this. First verse. You got it? Yastam Veda Savedavid. You understand this tree, you have understood the essence of the Veda. Yastam Veda. Yaha Tam. Tam is what? Tam Samsara Vriksham. Ashvatham. Which they are all calling as Avyaya, and which Vedanta is calling Ashvattha, which Paravidya calls it as Ashvattha, and Apara Vidya calls it as Avyayam. Look at that. Only one thing is there, and the same thing is seen as what? The same thing is seen as a snake. Another person is seeing it as a rope. Someone is seeing it as a silver. Another person is seeing it as a shell. What Vedanta says, it is Ashvattha. Others are calling it as Avyayam. Chandamsi yasya parnani. Yastam Veda. Veda means one who knows. Very interesting. Chandamsi is also Veda. Knowing is also Veda. Veda Vitu is the one who has known the truth of Veda. The same Veda which hides is the same Veda which reveals. The same Apara Vidya which hides comes from the same source which also reveals. Because that alone is a source of Paravidya also. One who knows, Swamiji, how Swamiji, how one who knows this tree knows all the Vedas? There is something, I understand there is something. Yastam Veda Savedavid. Yah Pashyati Sapashyati. Like that it is. One who knows this tree knows the whole Veda. How? Urdhva Mulo Vakshakaha Esho Ashvattha Sanatanaha Tadeva Shukram Tad Brahma Tadevamrutam Uchyate. This itself is what? This itself, Tadeva Amrutam, Tadeva Shukram, Tadeva Brahma. Why? Tasmin Loka Shrita Sarve Tadunatyeti Kaschana. All the worlds are located where? Tasmin Loka Shrita Sarve. In this Brahman only they are located. But how is this Brahman? How is the Samsara Vriksha Brahman? The Samsara Vriksha is Brahman. Why? Because its Moola is Brahman. Because its Moola is Brahman, Samsara is Brahman? Yes. The Asti Bhati Priya pervades it. It is the Adhisthana. Yeah, if it is Adhisthana, then Prahu Avyayam, I can say, na? Avyayam. No. You are taken away by the externality, and taken away by the externality, if you think of samsara as permanent, you are foolish. If you think the joys that you can get out of the samsara are eternal, you are an ignoramus. But if you see beyond and you know this comes from that ultimate reality, and if the samsara can lead you to Brahman, the Adhisthana, beyond the Adhyastha, beyond the Trigunatmika, Namarupa Prapancha, then you are led to truth. Therefore, yastam Veda sa Vedavid. If your attention is on the false, then you are led astray. If your attention is on the truth, then you are led to the final essence. So, what does this mean? This means this entire what I see has its roots, has its cause somewhere far high. So I must, with the effect, go to the cause. I should not be carried away by Apara Vidya. I should go to that Para Vidya, the source, and understand that ultimate cause from which everything has come, and finally see the truth that this entire vriksha is nothing but what? Nothing but that from which it comes. Tasmin loka shrita sarve tadunatyeti kasyana etat vaitat. Therefore, the entire truth of this world is what? The entire truth of this world is that Brahman from which it has come. Therefore, yastam Veda, one who knows this truth, sa Vedavit, sa Vedarthavit, sa Brahmavit. Sa buddhiman manushyeshu sa yuktaha kritsna karma kriti. How does the 15th chapter end? What is the last verse you see? Iti guhyatamam shastram Sakrityasya bharata vai yastam Veda sa Vedavit. Etat buddhva buddhiman syat. Knowing this, you become a buddhiman. You become wise. So what Bhagavan says at the beginning, he says as well at the end. Upakrama and upasamhara is the same. Do you know what is this upakrama, upasamhara and all? Yes. Beginning and end, do you know? Shadvidalinga? It doesn't matter. I think you must have studied. So, urdhvamula madhashakam ashvattam prahuravyayam chandam seyasya parnani yastam Veda sa Vedavit. Now it all depends where your attention is. Is your attention on that urdhvamula or is your attention on adashaka? If your attention is on adashaka and then you go behind this, then you are doomed. If your attention is on urdhvamula, then you are liberated. In other words, Shreyascha, Preyascha, Manushya Betau, Tau Samparitya, Vinakti Dhiraha. Shreyo hi dhiro vipreyaso vrinite, preyo mando yogakshemat vrinite. Both of them are in front of you. Urdhvamula, adashaka. Both of them are there. Now you choose what you want. You choose adashakam, the marga is prayas. You choose urdhvamulam, the marga is shreyas. Yastam Veda sa Vedavit. One who knows this, he knows the whole Veda. Urdhvamulam is Jnana Kanda. Adashakam is karma and upasana. Yastam Veda, sa Veda. Adashakam will take you through Janma Marana Chakra. Urdhva will take you beyond, will make you Gunatita. Yastam Veda, sa Veda. Urdhvamulammadhashakam Ashvattham Prahuravyayam Chandamsi yasya parnani Yastam Veda sa Vedavit. What you can physically see through your eyes is what? Adashakam. What you can see with your eyes of wisdom is Urdhvamulam. Yastam Veda sa Vedavit. So, for the one who has got this vision, he goes to the Urdhvamula and he goes beyond samsara. But what about others? Now you see how Bhagavan little more explains that samsara vriksha. Let us read next verse.
अधश्चोर्ध्वं प्रसृतास्तस्य शाखाः गुणप्रवृद्धा विषयप्रवालाः अधश्च मूलान्यनुसन्ततानि कर्मानुबन्धीनि मनुष्यलोके अधश्चोर्ध्वं प्रसृतास्तस्य शाखाः गुणप्रवृद्धा विषयप्रवालाः अधश्च मूलान्यनुसन्ततानि कर्मानुबन्धीनि मनुष्यलोके
तस्य शाखाः अधश्च ऊर्ध्वं प्रसृताः. Tasya of this, of that. What is that? The samsara vriksha. What was described in the earlier verse? Tasya of that samsara vriksha shakaha. Now what is the shakaha coming again? Shaka was said before, no? Urdhvamulam, adhashakam. What is this shakaha? These are all the side branches. Upashakaha. The main stem is there, right? And from that stem you find the branches and all. Now, in that earlier verse, in the first verse, adhashakam was the word shaka was to represent the whole shoot, other than the root, everything. Are you getting? Mula is the root. And whatever is above the earth, right? The whole thing was said to be in one word, shaka. Urdhvamulam adhashakam. So shakam here, there, in the first verse meant the shoot, root, shoot. Whereas here, tasya shakha, what is meant? All those side branches. And what are they? Where are they? Adhascha urdhvam prasrutaha. They are all extending up, down, everywhere they are extending. What is the shakaha extending up, down, everywhere? The shaka in the metaphor here is the bodies, the deha. And the samsara is through many dehas, many bodies. Now we are having human body. It doesn't mean that always we had the human body. Earlier what body we had? Future what body we are going to have? How many past bodies have changed? And these bodies are what? These bodies are spread above and below. These bodies are spread above and below. What do you mean bodies are spread? I'm standing right here. And what do you mean my bodies? All the bodies of your past, all the bodies of your future, and the present body that you have. If you look at them, all these bodies are spread around everywhere. I never knew that. Starting from the human, right? Manushyadi stavarantam adaha. Manushyadi, starting from the human. Manushyadi. Stavarantam. Stavarantam means up to the plants and all this. And these are all what? The bodies that you have below. And what is the body that one has up? From Manushya up to Brahmaloka. Whatever bodies you take, you have taken. Whatever bodies you will take. They are all what? They are all Urdhva. So some bodies of yours are Adaha, some bodies of yours are Urdhva. Only one doubt. You said starting from human, na? Human birth where? Two words are used. Adaha, Urdhva. So human birth comes where? Below or above? Human birth comes above. So when we say starting from human down, meaning you have to exclude that human and down. Starting from human up to Brahmaloka, you have to include the human also. This is called as Maryada and Abhiviti in Sanskrit. Right? So these bodies are all spread everywhere. Everywhere. Alright, adascha urdhvam prasritaha tasya shakaha. So shaka is body here, deha. And how are they? Guna pravruddha. They are all nourished by the gunas. Nourished by the gunas, nourished by the sattva, rajas, tama, their vikaras, guna vikaras. Like what? Kama, Krodha, Lobha. This is all rajas. Same also sattva also you take. Jnanam, Sukha, etc. Tamas also you take. Pramada, Alasya. Do you understand these words or I am just putting Sanskrit words? Do you understand? No? Pramada is what? Negligence. Alasya is what? Laziness, etc. Kama, Krodha, Lobha and all you know very well. So, Guna Pravruddhaha. They are all. What is Guna Pravruddhaha? The Shakaha, bodies. They are all what? Guna Pravruddhaha. The Gunas, they nourish them. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. You remember? At the end, if Sattva is there, then what happens? Which at the Rajas, Karma Sangishu Jayate, Urdhvam Gachanti Sattvastaha, Madhye Tishtanti Rajasaha, Adho Gachanti Tamasaha, Jaganya Gunavrittistaha, Adho Gachanti Tamasaha. So which body, where you get? All of them are nourished by what? Guna Pravruddha. Are you understanding? Guna Pravruddha. I thought there was only one tree. It looks like many trees are there now. How do you say some? Each one is a samsara tree only. And then what? Vishaya Pravala. Vishaya. Vishaya is what? Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha. Shabda Sparsha Rupa Gandha, what do you mean by experiences? The experiences, they are what? They are like Pravalaha. What is Prabala? From the branch is there, right? One branch is there. In the branch you will find some protrusion. They're called auxiliary buds, they are called. And these auxiliary buds, they become one more branch. Vishaya, they're Prabala, they are all buds. And from that will come one more branch will later up. In other words, every bhoga that we go through makes this tree grow faster, bigger. From morning onwards, how many experience you had? Swamiji, quite a lot. Your samsara has grown bigger. Vishaya Prabala. Adashchordvam prasrutastasya shaka guna pravruddha vishaya prabala. Now just think, now your samsara is what being spoken. Where is it beginning? Urdhva moolam. Right? Adashakam. Yeah, you are seeing very clearly, you are seeing. Adashakam. Ashvattam prahu. The samsara that you have is Ashvattha. Ashvattha, it is very huge, large, vast. Anadikalam arabhya. It is all coming. How long it is going to go? Ashvattha. But in truth, what is it? You can put one end tomorrow. Swamiji, I can put an end today. Okay, today. Why tomorrow? You can put one in very soon. Ashvattha. But this samsara, all these experiences, is considered by the foolish people as what? Avyayam. Avyayam means what? Very dependable. Avyayam means permanent. It's a happy abode. It's a fulfilling place. Like that. The ignorant people consider. But this is what? Ashvattha. But why are they considering like this? Chandam siyasya paranani. Apara Vidya. That is a marketing, advertisement department, publicity, making this tree look very green, attractive. It is hiding all its defects. It has got a lot of defects, a lot of problems are there. Hiding all the defects. Not only hiding all the defects, it is making it grow also. Chandamsi yasya paranani. Yastam veda sa veda veda. Urdhvamula adashakam. Both are there. One who knows this, he knows the whole Veda. He knows the whole Veda means what? He is a knower of everything. Kasminnu bhagavo vijñāte sarvamidam vijñātam bhavatiti. Urdhva moolam, you know. You know everything. Now, another part of the story. Adaschordvam prasrutastasya shaka. The branches. Branches, the deha. Is extending below, above, here, there, everywhere. Atala, vitala, sutala, rasatala, talatala, mahatala, patala, everywhere it is there. All the yonis, below also, above also, everywhere it is all there. And how are these bodies nourished here and there? Bodies means, what are we talking? Janmas. Is it not? Body means embodiment. Embodiment means birth. How are these births nourished? Guna prabruddha. Sattva, rajas and tamas have enabled all these varieties of embodiments. And then what? Vishaya prabala. Every anubhava, every vishaya, anubhava. That is like a prabala. That is like a bud waiting to explode into one more branch and shoot and make the samsara vriksha go further, farther, deeper, larger, making you more and more enmeshed in this realm of sorrow. And everywhere in this comes what? Karmanubandhini, your karma follows you. Waiting. We'll take it up tomorrow, this point. This is called metaphor. Shaka is said, but you have to tell it is Deha. See? Urdhva Moolam is said. Nowhere Brahman is said. Adhashakam is said. Nowhere is the samsara said. Nowhere is Mahat, Mahadadya. It's not said there, but you have to. It's called metaphor. You studied metaphors? Where? Kathopanishad, Ratarupa Kalpana. But there you have mentioned Indriyani hayan ahuhu vishayan steshu gocharan, etc. Atmanam ratinam vidhi shariram ratamevatu buddhim tu saratim vidhi manah pragrahamevacha indriyani hayan ahuhu vishayan steshu gocharan atmendriyamano yuktam bhoktetyaho manishinaha. First, what was said. Then afterwards, it went on. Right? Dushtashva, etc. Sadashva. But here, Bhagavan is not telling what is what. So you have to use your mind now. A have point. Here and there you have some Vishaya Prabhala, Karma Anubandhini, but Adaha Urdhvam you have to put your mind. Okay.